The facts matter.
Good morning, everyone. Virgo here. It is April 22nd, 2020. Okay, so it's been a long time since I've actually done a crazy train. This is an exceptionally long one, and it's an exceptionally interesting one. There seems to be a consensus out there with regards to the Moors that they figure that ganging up and attempting to try to claim that they're somebody that they're not, as you see on this particular comment. They have a nice business-looking businessman. I suppose they assume this man is a Albion, as they call it. They have a nice American name, James Monaco. And one of the first things that I do when I receive a filtered comment that is something that has a lot of, well, we'll say sob-sit type of language in it, or that type of ideology in it, is I actually take a look at the channel. So let's go do that now, shall we? And of course, I always see the same thing. Now, they assume because they've put a picture up here and have given us a nice American name here, that we're going to just look at it and go, oh, well, this is a real person. But as you'll notice, there's absolutely no way to determine when this actual channel was made, and it has virtually no content whatsoever. It's got everything hidden, and it has no subscribers. Now, that is the epitome of what's called a sock puppet account, as the majority of these are. And the reason behind that is because you can't trace who it actually is. Having said that, let's move on to the actual comment. First, the video that this comment was made on is the video where I expose Judge Anna Von Reitz, and it's the video where I contact the Council of Judges in Alaska, who inform me that they have got multiple complaints with regards to Anna, and in addition to that, provide me with the Attorney General's name and information to give out to the public so that anyone else who has a complaint about Anna Von Reitz can contact the Attorney General, as she's not a real judge, nor does she have any legal background, and in addition to that, there is no proof whatsoever of any kind of an election or any sort. Now, the Virgo Triad channel has requested from Anna many times for her to answer certain questions with regards to how she was elected, so on and so forth. We have never gotten an answer. Having said that, James Monaco decided to put his 2 cents in, but my thought pattern here is this is not really a white, nice American name. In reality, behind the moniker of the nice white American man that they put up here, I believe that this is a Moor, and I'll let you know why. It says it's like expecting the Federal Reserve and the IRS to appear under government offices in the telephone book. Most public services have been usurped by commercial for-profit interlopers. You are researching in these commercial operation lists, you aren't going to find de jure officers there. Let's talk about who uses interlopers. Interlopers means someone being somewhere they don't belong. The Moors, as you know, love to use that expression, in addition to consistently claiming that they are themselves de jure officers. Perhaps you need to look that one up again, guys. But let's address the actual meat of this particular comment. It's like expecting the Federal Reserve and the IRS to appear under government offices in the telephone book. Well, I got one better than the telephone book that no one uses anymore, James. Or so you claim to be, James. Let's take a look at that. We're over on the federalreserve.gov website, and let's take a look at what the Federal Reserve actually is. The Federal Reserve is independent within the government. Yes, I said within the government. The truth is that, like many other central banks, it is an independent government agency, but also one that is ultimately accountable to the public and Congress. Why would that be the case? Because the Federal Reserve was put in place as the central bank by Congress. Yes, it has a great deal to do with federal, and the Federal Reserve is independent, but is within the government, regardless of the fact that no one seems to understand because they don't do real research. They simply parrot YouTube videos. But the Federal Reserve was put in place by Congress, and therefore it makes it within the government. Independent, but within the government. Moving on. But James wasn't done there. James says, what's a real judge? Well, let's take a look at that, shall we, James? Here are the requirements to be an actual judge in the United States. The degree level you're required to have: a bachelor's degree and Juris Doctorate required. Degree field: undergraduate degrees in political science, history, business, or economics are beneficial. The licensure: state-specific license to practice law. That is not the bar. That is state-specific license to practice law. Experience: lawyer experience generally required. Not always, but generally. Key skills: critical thinking, reasoning, decision-making, and communication. And then it goes in to the actual salary, what normally is provided on a median level. This is as of 2018. So yes, a degree in a bachelor's degree in Juris Doctorate is required for you to be a judge. In addition to that, there's elected judges, and elected judges, well, there's an election for them. But guess what? There's no election whatsoever on the books by the public for Anna von Reitz. And that's one of the questions we asked her many, many times, and she never bothered to answer. Why? Because she had already lied several times about the type of judge that she even claims to be. So what you're believing is a bunch of BS. But I digress. Let's complete your comment. So James states that there are so many commercial for-profit overlays on the country's public offices, you are looking for their rules and appointments, so the de jure positions won't appear. Anna isn't any more de jure than the frog on my front porch right now, and she never will be when it comes to being a judge. You have the option to believe whatever you choose, James, but you can't even place your real name up here, so my guess is you'd prefer to live in fantasy land, and that's fine by me. Probably very soon I'll be reporting on whatever it is that you have done to break the law. I mean, let's face it, you really haven't done much research here, and quite honestly, you have no idea what you're talking about. Moving on, we have Kevin Gunnell L. Now, Kevin makes a very interesting claim here, but I'm going to read the comment and then I will address those claims. Kevin Gunnell L. says Virgo Triad is a fraud agent. She's putting up these misleading videos playing on the incompetent lack of knowledge. Did you know, all you lawyers, police officers, and judges that are subscribed to my channel, you're simply incompetent, apparently. I would run circle around her, apparently just one. I called her out many times, but she run from me. Kevin, come on, honey. You can't even speak English, let alone debate anybody that has any actual knowledge whatsoever. The funny part about this is Kevin thinks I don't know who they are, but I do. It's Kevin Brian Gunnell or Brian Kevin Gunnell. I can't remember which it is. He's got a record, and in addition to that, he's a vexatious litigant because he continues to file crazy lawsuits that never back anything up, and he also refuses to pay his filing fees. But I digress. We will move on. Mr. Gunnell. Now, you know darn well I would have responded to you had I ever heard from you. But the truth is, you've never sent an email and you've never made a comment whatsoever, because I guarantee you, if you had made a comment anywhere close to this comment, it would have ended up on my channel. You are quite simply a liar. I have proof there is no valid judge, lawyer, attorney, etc. You can't be a member of the Bar Association and work as a judge. The fake judge working for the Church of Rome is pretending to be a valid judge, but he is in violation of Canon 1607. Disqualify of a judge, etc. The Pope in 2013 extinguished their licenses to practice law. Find the Pope's civil orders he submitted to Obama in 2013. Let me set you straight on a couple of things. Number one, the 2013 document that you are referring to that the Pope supposedly sent to Obama was a forgery. You can thank your friend Anna von Reitz for that, by the way. It's not real, never was real, and even if it was real, the Pope would have to be checked in a mental hospital, because the truth is the Pope has no power outside of Vatican City. The Vatican City in Rome does not own anything that would give them jurisdiction over the United States whatsoever. No matter what you want to believe, the truth is that the individual that sits on his throne in the Vatican is one that only has jurisdiction over Vatican City, and certainly would not be bold enough to write a letter to Obama making demands. That simply did not happen. That applies to Trump administration. Oh, really? Perhaps you should try to contact Mr. Trump with regards to that. I think you might be surprised on that answer. They are frauds, and she, meaning me, behind this video is a fraud. Would love for you to prove it. Oh, but that's right, you claim you've already attempted to. I'm afraid that I have to agree with the title of this video, which is The Little MoorBoy That Never Could, and really shouldn't, because you look like a complete fool. Contact me. I will submit document evidence to debunk this video and the other ones. She get on her video and try to be intellectual and political. I beg your pardon. This is not a political channel, and I've stated that many, many, many times, and will never be a political channel. This is a channel that debunks scams and con artists, in which, my dear, you have either fallen for one. Oh, no, sorry, you go in the other basket. You are one. She gets on her video and try to be intellectual and political of what she say out her mouth, but she is a fraud. I'm willing to challenge her and whoever with statute, canon laws, and what is this? Oh, that's right, it's the Constitution, in which he has forgotten to read. And whoever with statute, canon laws, and the Constitution, organic Constitution, and Bill of Rights. She used her YouTube channel to mislead the incompetent people, but I will put up document evidence to show she is a corporate agent fraud. I would love for you to, because once again, you are wrong. I am not a corporate agent. I am not a fraud, and I back up every piece of information with valid, verified, and sourced information. However, you are a liar for many, many reasons. The main one here being that you claim you have proof of me being a corporate agent fraud. That is hilarious, because I don't work with anyone and never have. I guess it's really difficult for con artists and narcissists to believe that a person could actually be doing something to help the public for no other reason other than to put out information that is real and factual. I can understand why you wouldn't understand that. Let's move on. Kevin again says, false information. You are an agent. Nothing she says is true. Only people who know the truth know the person speaking on the video is an agent, and she is misleading you. What's funny about this, Kevin, is there are a ton of my subscribers who actually know more about me than you do. And I would be willing to bet that the majority of them that know who I actually am and what I actually do would be willing to go up against you. Because, dear, once again, you're wrong. Not an agent, just a person who gives a damn about what people fall for. And oh my goodness, you are down a rabbit hole that most of us would be embarrassed to, claim that we had even read about. He's also actually putting information up on a video that is put out by the UCC. That particular video is about how the rules and regulations are becoming more stringent. And the reason why is because they are making legislation that provides criminal penalties for the Uniform Commercial Code in each individual state. It's taking a while to get through all 50 states, but almost half of them have criminal penalties now for filing false and fraudulent or irrelevant liens against individuals. Not just, it's a federal crime to file a false lien against anyone that is part of, like, for example, a judge, a lawyer, a police officer. But now there are additional provisions that are being placed under the criminal code for doing it to anyone. All right, next we have Kevin Gunnell, who is replying to someone who put a comment under my video from Monday on Sharon's update to her case. Keep in mind that it is simply the update to her case, in which we have not gotten a response from yet because the docket has not been updated. So his statement is, I have the documents and the evidence to make all y'all Albions jump off the roof. So get prepared, you guys, or get yourself a parachute, because apparently Kevin's going to make us jump off the roof. The Moores Resolution 1203, that document is from the very same people like the so-called judge on Sharon's case. But let me guess, when y'all see it, and it's coming from y'all own corporation government, y'all going to find a way to debunk the evidence. Y'all denial and mental illness is so sad, y'all time is up. All right, you guys, let's go take a look at Resolution 1203. Here we are over on legis.ga.gov. First of all, let me state that this legislation was passed with one vote and one vote only by Representative Thomas of the 56th. House Resolution 1203 is simply this. It's a resolution recognizing January 8th through the 15th as Moorish American Holy Week at the state capitol, and for other purposes. Okay, the other purposes have to do with the recognition of the Moors in that specific state and in that specific area. All right, there are a ton of other groups that have exactly the same type of House resolution in their actual area. I really couldn't care less about what they place up there as far as there being a holy holiday of some sort or the recognition of a particular group. For one thing, generally, what happens is there are a group of individuals who vote on things like this. And in this case, it was only one representative, Representative Thomas, in 2014. What I find funny about that is that if you go take a look at Representative Thomas, it's possible this person actually believed that this documentation came from the Temple Moors, meaning Moors that actually are assisting their communities instead of scamming them. Finding a way to debunk this isn't necessary. It doesn't mean anything in terms of power. It's simply providing you with a Moorish American Holy Week in one state. Don't try to mislead people by making them think that this is actually Congress making a decision on this, because it's not. It's simply within the state of Georgia, and it wasn't even voted on by more than one person. I would say at this point, be glad that you have that much of a recognition, because the rest of what you claim is absolute bullshit. Maybe that's what Mr. Gunnell meant by finding a way to debunk it. Huh. I don't know. Now, having heard that, please, with a thumbs up, let me know how many of you guys are ready to jump off a roof. It's funny, I've known about the Georgia Resolution 1203 for 3 years. Never once did I think on climbing on top of my roof. This is particularly funny and in my opinion shows a great deal of mental illness. Albions be gone! Y'all don't know anything about the law. Virgo Triad, I challenge you to fact-finding so I can teach your fraudulent agent? Wait a minute. That doesn't even make any sense. The Moors is we. The people y'all time is up. You will see, can't wait for this to backfire in your face. You try to be intellectual and political, but you really incompetent as those who listen to your bull-doo-doo. Bull doo doo. That's an interesting one. I know you are a agent putting out fraudulent information. You just talk and don't back up nothing you say. Really? What are all those links of verified sources that are all in my videos? Over 700 of them, as a matter of fact. Yeah. For those of you that don't like to read and like to do nothing but parrot bullshit that you find in YouTube videos, following a fake ideology and a group that do nothing but scam others, I would imagine that reading this comment, had it been not filtered, of course, maybe one or two people on my channel that are actually of the same persuasion as you might have gone, yeah, that's right. She's a fraud. She doesn't know anything. She doesn't back up her videos with anything, even though all of the links to verified and sourced information on backing up everything that I say, you'll find under the videos that I make or pinned to the top of the comment section. 700 videos, you guys. All you have to do is look at one. But no, that would be too difficult for the shysters that you are who claim to know everything. We can meet on common ground, and I will show you the canon law 1607, which, by the way, doesn't apply anywhere except for Vatican City, and even then, you're required to be appointed by someone of authority in the church in order to even practice in Vatican City, let alone anywhere else. The blind leading the blind. We can meet on common ground, he says, and I will show you the canon law that doesn't exist here in the United States or pertain to anything here in the United States. So that, let's see, perfidy, that so-called judge is not permitted, he is prohibited to work in law when he is a member of the Bar Association, and the Pope extinguished their license in 2013. Again, fraudulent document. In the civil orders he issued to Obama, you always asserting out your mouth about fraud. Let's talk about the fraud of the so-called judge on Sharon's case. I know y'all will ignore this fact, try to act like you don't see this because you and the rest of your kind is a fraud. Oh my goodness. You know, it's funny, when you look at his background history, you'll see who the real fraud is. Not that you can't tell anyway. I mean, truthfully, this kind of nonsense, seriously, we're talking about the Pope exercising rights outside of Vatican City, and everybody knows that that's not something that can happen. Not a clue on how being a judge works in the United States, and not a desire to learn it either. I guarantee you. If you try to shake these people's beliefs in their craziness, if you try to provide them anything that is not some form of bias towards what they believe, this is the kind of attack you get. It's a waste of time and a waste of air. These people are completely irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, but in addition to that, totally ignorant. You'll find with things that pop out with comments like these on channels like mine and DGens and Vans, it's projecting to the max. So virtually everything that you read supposedly about yourself or the person that runs that channel is actually that person who's projecting what they are onto their comment. I find it totally disturbing. The main reason is because it just tells me there is a tremendous amount of mental health issues in the United States. Kevin goes on to start answering other people's comments. This person asked, so don't file a UCC1 at all, or just not use it in the wrong way? They're just trying to clarify, right? The point being that, of course, you can file a UCC1, but you have to file it where it's not a fraudulent filing, and you need to make sure that it's not irrelevant either. For example, it's against the law to file against yourself or your so-called straw man. Here we go with some more garbly gunk from Kevin Gunnell L. The debtor is the Roman juridic person, debtor artificial person straw man. It's a person, real man or woman, estate birth certificate called the debtor. Virgo Triad is a fraud agent trying to mislead y'all. She is an evil person. What real person try to keep you stuck in the matrix, keep you enslaved? Shake my head. She is evil, fraudulent agent. I'm not even going to respond to that ridiculousness. But if you really want to know, once again, a juridic person or juretic person is someone appointed by the Pope. We're still dealing with canon law here as if it has anything to do with the United States whatsoever. And in addition to that, the actual definition of Roman juretic person or juretic person, however it's pronounced properly, actually only means for you to have any kind of authority at all, it would only be in Vatican City. It's hilarious. This person hasn't even bothered to look up the word. All right, let's see. Hang on one second. Let me take you over there. So here we go. It states, within the Roman Catholic Church, that function much as a corporation does within civil law, a public juridic person may acquire, retain, administer, and alienate property in the name of the Roman Catholic Church. A public juridic person must be established by an appropriate ecclesiastical authority. An appropriate ecclesiastical authority. So unless you're going to have one of your little Moor buddies come over and claim to be a pope of some sort and claim that they have ecclesiastical authority to make you this individual, you're out of your gourd. So the rule here, Kevin, is research good, real research. Research good. Parroting YouTube videos bad, okay? He responded to another person on exactly the same video. The same video he's put 900 comments on, kind of like Jody did about a week ago. Does that seem strange to you? Just saying. Anyway, Kevin was apparently too exhausted with all of his wonderful supposed legal knowledge that he claims that he didn't even want to take the time to write another comment. So he just copy and pasted the last one you just saw. I don't know, Kevin. It's not looking good for you. The reality is, I just debunked at least 75% of every word that you wrote in my comment section. My suggestion to you would be, number one, grow up and be a man. If you really want to claim that supposedly you've called me out before and I didn't respond or ran from you, then I think you should at least put some substance in your comment section. Number two, some proof of me supposedly running from you would be another thing. Because the bottom line is, I wouldn't have. I am here to debunk individuals that are ignorant like you. The only reason that I have ever turned someone down, which has been well over a year now, is because I've already debunked them numerous times and they simply want to get me on a platform that will give them more views or that will provide them with the opportunity to put me on mute and talk over me. And the only person that's ever attempted to try to do that I've turned down is named April Lejeune. But I have to say, even she would be more worthwhile to debate than someone like you. Because right now, you appear to be living in your own little world, and believe me, I really don't want to visit it. I happen to know the actual law and the actual facts, and there is nothing in your garbly-gook word salad that you claim that is accurate. Now let's take a look at where else Kevin has tried to spread his vast amount of pseudo-knowledge. The link to this document and to uscourts.gov, where you can read this document in full, will be linked in the description of this video. This was filed October 31st of 2019, but never actually went anywhere other than to initially get filed because the filing fee was apparently never completely paid. This has to do with, along with a bunch of different spelling errors, the objection to a magistrate judge who did a report and a recommendation in the Court of Appeals with regards to the claim that this person needs to be deemed a vexatious litigant. Why? Because he continues to file a bunch of fraudulent or irrelevant cases in order to gum up the court system. You know, pretty much like every other sob-sit out there, more or otherwise. This is Court Lister for District Court of South Dakota, or excuse me, that's incorrect, District Court of Ohio. This is in regards to Kevin Brian Gunnell L. And it shows that his main document was the complaint that I just got through reading to you, the notice for it in order to show cause, and then down here you get to this specific area where it says report and recommendation. Magistrate judge recommends that this case be dismissed for failure to pay the filing fee. Objections to R&R due by 10/31, 2019, signed by Magistrate Judge Kimberly Jolson, which of course, this person has dealt with more than one of the Moors. On 10/17/2019, this document has been sent by regular mail to the parties listed in the NEF that did not receive electronic notification. All right. You can download all of this on Pacer, or you can take a look at it at the link that I am providing to you underneath this video. Just taking a quick look on Google by searching the name Kevin Gunnell or Kevin Gunnell L, you will locate all of these court cases, including some information pertaining to the Court of Appeals case that you might want to look at. Let's take a look over there. Uh-oh, here we go. The Court of Appeals, which ultimately based upon the foregoing, first and second assignments of error are overruled and the judgment of the Franklin Municipal Court is hereby affirmed. Meaning that, my dear, you cannot even, you don't even understand the law well enough to actually be able to get yourself out of trouble with regards to a document or something small, let alone anything that's important. This is over on Justia U.S. Law. I will link it to the description. I would suggest that you actually start looking at reality. Maybe you could do something better for yourself and everyone around you if you actually took some law courses just in community college. The truth is that you're following a bogus rabbit hole and you are dug so deep in that I don't even know at this point whether you'll be able to get yourself out, but I hope you can. Seeing this and everything that has occurred with regards to your cases, I would imagine that where you started learning this bunch of crap is in prison. And unfortunately, all of that information is just a bunch of garbage. It's been proven over and over again. It's a scam, and it's something that I will continue to put out there and notify others to beware of this scam. But I would still really like some documentation on what you claim to know with regards to me supposedly being a government agent. That is really interesting to me, being that I work for no one except for the people here on YouTube that care about whether people are getting scammed or con artists are running around. Kind of like you. Okay, everyone, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.